Hi, my name is Nitya Shanti, and I'm here on behalf of the Emotions Travel community. And I'm going to be talking to you about emotions as well. So, welcome to this nice informal chat. I'm going to be sharing a few things that are really important and have helped me in my life. Hopefully, they'll help you as well. I'm going to start with a beautiful sound. This is a Tibetan singing bowl, makes a harmonious sound. Enjoy the sound of my bowl. So, this is a very unique time in all our lives. It's pretty unprecedented what's been going on. And with every challenge, as you know, also comes an opportunity. So, I'd like to share with you, and if you can just take out about 10-15 minutes for today for this talk, and I'm going to share with you some really practical things that I learned for emotional well being. And hopefully, it'll help you as well. I've had a chance to share this with thousands of people all over the world. You see, I used to be in the corporate world, and I realized that's not my calling. So I left my corporate job and I ordained as a Buddhist monk. I lived as a Buddhist monk in Thailand and Sri Lanka. I lived in a forest tradition. So I learned a few things along the way about mindfulness and about how the mind and the heart and our emotions, how they all work together. So today's session is going to be a very practical exploration and a few things in the next 10-12 minutes that can give you long-lasting value if you apply it. Nothing just happens by listening. You've got to practice it. And as you practice it, a shift definitely occurs. The first thing I'd like to say is that the lovely definition of suffering, which comes from one of my teachers, Byron Katie, and she says that suffering is arguing with reality. Suffering is arguing with reality. In other words, when you're resisting what's happening in your life, that's when we start to suffer. Nothing by itself creates emotional upheaval. It's our resistance to it that does it. So another way of kind of a formula for suffering, if you will, could be that suffering is equal to experience multiplied by resistance. The more you resist, the more you suffer. The more you accept and you welcome and you bring it, you kind of invite it in and you embrace what's happening, the less we suffer. This is a really important principle. So happiness then would be loving what is. And suffering is judging what is, resisting what is. So in my journey, I've come across three things that I found very, very useful. I'm going to share all these three with you, and I'd like you to practice them with me. The first is the idea that between stimulus and response is a gap. And this is where our wisdom lives. Between stimulus and response is a gap. This is where our wisdom lives. The gap is where we have the opportunity to decide. There's a lot of research on the brain these days, and what they're realizing is what we think is free will is not really free will. Our brain has decided a few seconds before we consciously decide to do something. You thought you decided it? Well, neuroscientists can see it on the brain even before you think you decided it. The brain activity had already begun. So in this case, I mean, are we all then destined to just live like robots? Actually, no. This gap, the pause, yes, you had a thought which came up, yes, you had an impulse which came up, but you don't have to follow through with it. There's a moment there where you can check, is it really helpful? Is it really skillful? Is it really useful? Should I really do that or not? So that gap is where our wisdom lives. That's where we shift from being a reactive person to being a responsible person, responsible, right? The ability to respond. So one really powerful concept that I came across, it's called 100% responsibility. Not 50%, not 90%, not even 99%. Taking 100% responsibility for our life experience. And what this means is, whatever happens in my life happens, but how I react to it, what I think about, say, and do after that, that's very much in my hands. So I'm taking full responsibility for what's happening in my life. Nothing is happening by accident. It's all part of the curriculum of this lifetime. So with emotions, The learning here is fully feeling our feelings. This is very healing. Our feelings don't want to be healed, they want to be held, they want to be given the space to be. So if you look at emotion as energy in motion, when something happens and it triggers something inside of you, can we just allow this energy to remain in motion and not create a story around it? Oh, that means I'm like this, they are like this, the world is like this. That's what keeps it stuck. And if you just allow yourself to feel it, then like children who will have strong emotions, some of you probably have kids, they'll have strong emotions, and guess what? A little while later, 5-10 minutes later, they're fine. They've forgotten about it, they've moved on. Because they've not made a big story around it, not made a big concept around it. Oh, that means I'm like this, you are like this, the world is like this. So this means shifting from the head to the heart and from the heart to the body. Some of the most effective therapies these days are what's called somatic therapies. Instead of just talking about your problems, they'll ask you, when you think that or when you say that, what happens in your body? And can you stay with that and describe it? Describe it in great detail. Where are you feeling it? What's happening now? So one of my teachers told me to fully feel what I'm feeling, and wherever it's feeling tight, wherever it's feeling heavy, to ask myself, can I relax and allow this to flow? I would even talk directly. Maybe I'm having a heaviness in my heart. So I just directly tune into that and relax and flow. Relax and flow. Where do you want to go? Relax and flow. Where do you want to go? And it's fascinating. Energy wants to move. Energy wants to flow. Emotion, energy in motion. Energy wants to be in motion. You got to give it the opportunity to be in motion. So getting in touch with this powerful attitude of full responsibility, 100% responsibility, because when you don't take full responsibility, you're waiting for the other person to change, for the government to change, for the situation to change, for the industry environment to change, for the economy to change. You're going to be waiting a very long time. So this is not leadership, and this is not a good foundation for well-being either. Instead, full responsibility, and I allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, fully feeling what I'm feeling. This is where the emotional alchemy happens. This is where the transformation happens. There's a teacher who came up with a method called CORE, Center of Remaining Energy. His name is Tom Stone. And Tom Stone found that whatever you're feeling, can you come to the center of that? Can you come to the heart of that and really feel it? And as you stay with it for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, now what happens? So now come to the center of that and come to the center of that. Can we just try this for a few moments? So fully feel whatever you're feeling right now. Now notice what's the most prominent feeling anywhere that you're experiencing, and locate it in the body. And allow yourself to feel this. Instead of resisting it, which leads to suffering, can you allow it? Can you give it space to be? And space to breathe? And if you can identify something that you're feeling, then come to the very center of that. It doesn't have to be unpleasant, even if it's a pleasant feeling. Come to the very center of that and relax and flow. Relax and flow. Relax and flow. Where do you want to go? And come to the center of what's happening now. And the center might have shifted. Check. And as you breathe with this and feel into whatever you're feeling, fully feeling your feelings, coming to the core, the center of remaining energy. And of course, your mind will wander, bring it back. And breathe with and into whatever you're feeling. Take a deep breath. And you can slowly open your eyes. Beautiful practice. We got a small taste of what it's like to fully feel our feelings. Relax and flow. Where do you want to go? Things want to move. It's our thoughts and our judgments that keep them stuck. So giving them the space to move, space to flow. A second thing I want to share with you is a method I learned from Japan. And this method is called Jinshin Jutsu. It's a beautiful practice. I'm going to give you a short version to do this practice. In this practice, each finger represents a certain emotion. So thumb represents worry, index finger represents fear, middle finger represents anger, the ring finger represents sadness, and the small pinky finger represents trying too hard, never feeling good enough, right? So you can start with any hand, you can go with the left hand or the right hand, and just take the other finger, then wrap them around. Let's start with the thumb. And I'm holding it up, but you can keep your hand down as well, whatever's comfortable. And just breathe here. Holding the thumb relaxes, releases, and reduces worry. Holding it just firm enough to feel it very clearly. You might even feel a pulsing sensation, which is good. And after spending about 3 breaths here, you'll move on to the index finger, which represents fear. Holding the index finger reduces fear, releases fear. You can hold it for any length of time. To start off with, 3 breaths is nice. Come to the middle finger. Middle finger represents anger. Feel the pulsing sensation if you can. This releases anger. Come to your ring finger. Ring finger represents sadness and sorrow. And now come to the little finger, which represents trying too hard, never feeling good enough, inferiority complex, comparison, all of that. It's almost like you're hugging yourself. These fingers are like mini versions of you. And as you embrace and welcome and accept your worry, your fear, your anger, your sadness, and you're trying too hard, just come to the middle of your hand, just touch this. Everything balances itself out. It's a very simple method, very powerful method. If you wake up in the morning and just spend a few minutes doing this, it's fantastic. Or anytime you're traveling in a car, when somebody else is driving you, not when you're driving, you can just hold your hand like this in these beautiful ways. And you can do it with the other hand as well. You can either do just one hand, or if you like, I usually like doing both the hands because it just feels nice, feels complete. So this method is called Jin Shin Jutsu. And I'm going to give you a nice formula to remember which finger represents what. The formula is end, worry, fast. End, worry, fast. So thumb represents worry and F-A-S-T. So index finger is fear, middle finger is anger, ring finger is sadness, and the little finger is trying too hard. So do you remember that now? End, worry, fast. And now you know what each finger stands for. Worry, fear, anger, sadness, and trying too hard. It feels, for me, I'm really enjoying just doing this and holding each finger for about 2 or 3 breaths. Like I'm hugging myself. You'll actually notice a difference. Just with the simple practice, you'll notice a difference. You feel less on edge. You feel more calm. You do it regularly, you'll really enjoy holding your fingers like this. And these days we have a lot of video calls and all kinds of things. So your hands can just be down there. You can just be doing this practice while you're on the call. It's a fantastic system. And a lot of people, in fact, I spent a week learning this. There were amazing stories of healing that would happen. Physical healings, emotional healings, all kinds of healings from this very simple system called Jin Shin Jutsu. Once you're done, I'd like you to hold one wrist against the other. Beautiful. We've learned an excellent method which can support our physical and emotional well-being, Jin Shin Jutsu. One more method, and this is actually one of my favorites. So this method comes from Hawaii, and it's called Ho'oponopono. You might have even heard of this, quite famous. And Ho'oponopono means it's about correcting a wrong way of looking at things. So the idea of Ho'oponopono, it's building on what we just talked about a little while back. 100% responsibility. If something is happening in your world, Ho'oponopono says something in you is not healed. Because you are not separate from the world. Have you noticed wherever there's a problem, you're always there? One way or the other, you're there. You're connected to it. Because if you're not there, then what's the problem? There is some correlation between that and you. And we've all seen that for some situations, some people are totally calm about it, but some people get very agitated about it. So the situation is neutral actually. Rain falling, for example, is neutral, and you get upset. Oh, my picnic got cancelled. We had a big plan, it all got cancelled. And the farmer says, I'm so happy I finally got rain for my crops. You see, rain is neutral. Your thoughts about it make the difference. The present situation with the coronavirus, it's a neutral situation. In many ways, nature is really balancing itself out. But of course, it's no good for our business. It's no good for some of us personally. So in Ho'oponopono, you come to balance. You take full responsibility for what's happening, for your way of looking at what's happening, step one. And then you make the following 4 statements. And if you like, repeat them either aloud or in your mind. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can say them in any order. So you could start with, I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. These are 4 beautiful statements, and they lead to a beautiful shift. So the idea is, throughout the day, whenever something is bugging you, bothering you, instead of resisting it, instead of tightening yourself around it, you come back to these statements. And you could even just use one of them. For example, these days I just use I love you. So for example, for this video setting up, I was having some trouble with the tripod, and I was having some trouble setting it up. And I could feel a little bit of agitation coming up, saying, oh, I've got a lot of things to do today. I want to get this done. I love you. I love you. I love you. And so I'm meeting each situation with, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. And this is called clearing. This is called emotional clearing. So the idea here is, take full responsibility. When you take full responsibility for something, and you stop being a victim anymore, from that place, the magic starts to happen. And what we're doing here is we're inviting the larger intelligence of life to correct our way of looking at the situation. We tap into the larger intelligence of life through the attitudes of forgiveness and love and gratitude, gratefulness. This is found in all spiritual traditions. It's not limited to Hawaii. We all have heard of these things. But we now have a practical way of doing it. So as you go through your day, keep saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. You can say it in your mind. Who are you saying it to? You're saying it to yourself for your way of looking at things. Something about the way you're looking at it is not the best, which is why you're getting troubled. Event plus response is equal to outcome. The events are neutral. It's your way of looking at it. So resistance comes from arguing with reality, resisting reality. That's where the suffering comes from. So we've learned another beautiful system. It's called Ho'oponopono. So I think this is a pretty good summary of what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to talk about emotions, energy in motion. Suffering comes from resisting our experience, and happiness comes from accepting and enjoying and welcoming and embracing our experience. I gave you 3 wonderful approaches. One is, whatever happens, can you feel it fully? Between stimulus and response is a gap. That's where wisdom lives. So can you access that gap? And from that gap, can you meet the experience? Fully feeling my feelings is very healing. I come to the center of the remaining energy, relax and flow. Where do you want to go? This is fantastic. Things will immediately balance themselves out. And your mind may wander, but you come back. We learn Jinshin Jitsu of holding our fingers like this. End worry fast. Worry, F-A-S-T. Fear, anger, sadness, trying too hard. In the middle of your palm. Do it with both hands if you like, or one hand, and hold your wrist like this. And then we learned Ho'oponopono, which is again taking full responsibility. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. There's a nice book called Zero Limits, which you can read, which will tell you more about this practice. It's by Joe Vitale, and the Hawaiian teacher is called Hugh Len. Fantastic, fantastic teaching. So I've enjoyed creating the little video for you. I hope it helped, and just an informal chat, sharing with you something that I found useful in my life, and I hope they are useful to you as well. Thank you so much. Lots of love. My name is Nitya Shanti, and if you want to learn more about my work, just search for me online. My name is spelled Nithya Shanti, Nitya Shanti. You can look up my website, nityashanti.com. And I hope to see you at one of the emotions gatherings somewhere in the world. Lots of love. Take care. Be well.